I'm Richard Paisner, Chair of the Board of the Institute for Sustainable Communities. While I live in Washington, D.C., I was born and raised in Providence, Rhode Island, wrote speeches for Phil Hoff in his 1970 Senate campaign, and broke my leg skiing at Glen Ellen. So I regard myself as a native Vermonter. I want to make three very brief comments about three of my favorite people. First, when I was listening to Madeline talk, I realized we were in the presence of greatness. And it is so rare in our lives for that to happen that this is a very special night which I will treasure for the rest of my life. So again, Madeline, thank you. Now, normally the board chair is the one who talks first and the president talks second, but George arm wrestled me and he's a lot stronger than I am. But the one thing I wanted to say about George Hamilton is, first, he is a good, decent, and humble man. Second, he is the most accomplished social entrepreneur I have ever met. And third, that our partnership of the past several years has been one of the great and enjoyable adventures of my life. So thank you, George. And I'm looking for Jerry Greenfield. Am I seeing him? Well, Jerry has been such a great supporter of ISC, bringing that ice cream scoop all over the world on our behalf. And I know I speak for the entire staff and the board when I say how much we appreciate all that he's done for ISC. So, my father's mother's maiden name was Anna McGid. And as I learned somewhat later, in Yiddish, McGid means storyteller. And in fact, for hundreds of years, the McGids traveled around Eastern Europe and Spain, telling stories about the Old Testament. And so I love stories, I love telling them, I love listening to them, and I concluded that I'm probably hardwired for that. Of course, my McGid ancestors were part of a great tradition. Homer told the story of the fall of Troy and Odysseus' amazing journey home. Every great religion has stories that we tell and retell during Christmas and Passover and Ramadan. Shakespeare's stories, his comedies, his tragedies, continue to ennoble us and entertain us. And I would guess that within the past day or 2 days or week, everyone in this room has told a story to a child, to a grandchild, to someone at work, to a dinner companion. And stories entertain us, they inform us, but in some ways, most important, they enable us to transmit values. In my view, stories are the organizing principle of the human condition. ISC is all about stories. We use stories to train, motivate, and inspire the people George referred to, these thousands of social justice champions around the world with whom we have worked over the past 25 years. Now, of course, in the 21st century, the story has changed, because now it's not just the great oral and written tradition. It's now film, it's video, it's social media. And this is a made-up statistic, which I'm about to articulate, but we're in an era of made-up statistics, so this is good. But I'm going to suggest that there were more stories told by more people because of social media in 2015 that had been told in the whole history of the world before 1990. This has been a tremendous outflow. And tonight we have a brief video which describes, to me, one of our great projects. It's in Southeast Florida, and you're going to see that this project the president calls a model for the nation and for the world. And as it'll be described, but I think it was one of the very first projects in the United States where elected leaders, Republicans and Democrats, agreed to work together on climate issues and to work together on a project, the Southeast Florida Regional Climate Compact, that had the word climate in it. And this, in the true ISC tradition, we give all the credit, and it's deserved, to the elected leaders and the people with whom they work. But the effort to create the compact was a classic ISC project. So if we could turn on the video.